Hey, I'm Oliver. I'm super excited to show off the art in this video today. I've been wanting to do an art style challenge for literal years now. I tried doing one a bit ago, but I didn't end up quite finishing it fully. This time though, I had really disciplined myself and ended up doing one or two a day. The art styles we're doing are my own style, of course. BOJACK, HORSEMAN, Studio Ghibli, Steven Universe, Undertale, GORILLAZ, Arcane, and Pokémon. Now that y'all know what we're doing, let's get into it. So for this challenge, I wanted to use my favorite little guy, Cam. I redesigned him in my first art-related video on this channel, actually. I thought including my style would be a fun way to start the challenge. I haven't really drawn him in a while either, and I thought it would be good to establish his main characteristics. So, the big thing of his designs are the hair, the tattoos, the scar, and the shirt. All those things will kind of change throughout the course of this video. My style has a lot of little details with the noses and the cheeks, fingers, and other joints, all having either lines or circles. I also do a lot of rendering at the end of my process, starting off with flats and minor shading below the lines before moving above the line art to render. At the end of the main part of the illustration, I added my typical overlays, those being the noise layer and some colors to add extra lighting and stuff. Which it's pretty easy to do, since it's my typical thing, so yeah. BOJACK Horseman has been a show that I've literally fallen in love with. It's so sad and so real, and I love it. I haven't really found other shows that are similar. Fun fact, for my psychology class last year, we had to do a character diagnosis project, and I did BOJACK. There was so much analysis. Turns out rehab would have actually been a better start. Anywho, for Cam, I really could have kept him as a human, but truly, that would not have been as fun. So, I have turned Cam into a border collie. For references, I mainly went off of Mr. Peanut Butter and a couple other background dogs in the show. This show is mainly considered puppet animation, at least from my knowledge. The hands and arm are really awkward looking, and the hands tend to be really small in the style, but it was really cool to do. Going back to the key traits from earlier, the tattoos, plugs, and scar were all removed from the design. The style was a nice start. I love Studio Ghibli so much. I know I just said the same thing about BOJACK, but either way, their stories are really fantastical and interesting. The animation style is absolutely so expressive and full, and it's really pretty, and I love it, and awesome, and perfect. But yeah, although the hardest part about making Cam in the Studio Ghibli style was the pose and the clothing. When I say the clothes are hard, I mean the shape of it necessarily. A solid 80% of Studio Ghibli men have skinnier pants and a baggier shirt compared to Cam's skinnier shirt and baggier pants, so I improvised a lot with that. I also improvised a lot with the earrings, but I think they still follow the style. For almost every single shirt design, the face changes depends on the style at hand. This design I chose to take inspiration from Turnip Head. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, but either way. But yeah, Turnip Head is from Howl's Moving Castle, arguably one of my favorite movies from them. My favorite is probably From Up on Poppy Hill. I love that one. Yeah, I didn't realize until I finished all the drawings for this video that in the end I flipped the drawing, which would be fine if Cam didn't have heterochromia, so his eyes are backwards. Anywho, don't mind that. Steven Universe is a show that I really hold close to my heart. As much as the art style isn't incredibly groundbreaking, the story is really good. I've watched the entire thing with my boyfriend, and it was really nice to enjoy something with him that I've enjoyed for a couple years at that point. For Cam, my biggest references were Young Greg, Shep, and Lars. Since Cam has plugs, I went with the Lars style of ears. Such an interesting choice for a character design, but it's really unique in my opinion. A lot of times throughout the process, I've changed the colors to make them more realistic to the style. The white in his hair is typically more yellow, because it's been bleached, and my hair's bleached, so I went with something that looked like that. But either way, I made it to, pretty much extremely white on the color, scale, I guess, if that makes sense, to match the rest of the series. In the show, when a character is far in the background, the faces get to this cute little like simplified smiley face, and I used these faces as my inspiration for the style, I guess the style's version of Cam's shirt. That's a mouthful, I know. I wasn't sure if the tattoos would fit in the Steven universe. Why did I write it like that? I didn't even realize that saying in the Steven universe does not make sense. Anyways, but then I was looking at some of the gems in the show, mainly Jasper, like after she's been corrupted, and I noticed that they all have some sort of like differentiation in the colors, so I took that and I made it into tattoos. Overall, it wasn't the hardest style to replicate. The hardest thing would be the hands. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the speed paint for the Undertale drawing, but it was pretty simplistic. In a way. Unfortunately, I don't think I effectively replicated the Undertale style. There aren't many humans in the games aside from Kara, Frisk, and Chris, which is a tongue twister. I mainly went for Chris and Kara for this one. Pretty much just Chris though, because I just took Kara's face. I've loved Undertale for so long. I think the music is absolutely amazing. The game really makes you love all the characters, and I cannot do a genocide run without being sad about killing Papyrus. Here's how Cam turned out in the somewhat Undertale/Deltarune style. Gorillaz is one of my favorite bands out there. I went to the concert with my dad like 2-ish years ago in Toronto. It was a really good experience. The band itself is really genius. The messages behind the song are so meaningful, social commentary packed into fantastic music. By far, my favorite album of theirs has got to be Plastic Beach. I did an analysis for it for my art class, and my appreciation just like blew out of proportion. The art style itself is really grimy in like a good way. I love the funkiness. It was probably the hardest to get right. Since there aren't many characters in the style, I understand that I probably could have looked at Jamie Hewlett's regular art, but I was mainly referencing the Now Now and the Song Machine style, so I didn't think to do that. There were a lot of wrinkles in details on the characters, which makes them so interesting to look at. The shirt face has been replaced, with the version of the skull logo. This style, even if it took the longest, is my second favorite in the entire video, and I think it's just because I feel like I did a good enough job to the point where you can tell what style I'm trying to replicate. However, I don't think he looks good enough to actually trick people. Oh my god, do I love Arcane. The new season was so good, and it made me remember how good the art style was. I am gonna miss the show though, despite the fact it was the last season, but yeah. Everything about it makes me essentially want to foam at the mouth, like, it's so good. I knew either way that I wanted to do this style, and I'm actually really, really happy with it. You can probably tell that I mainly referenced Victor for Cam's rendering. Honestly, he's my favorite, so yeah. It was initially pretty difficult to get into, trying to balance between the darks and the lights and the tones that come with them. The way that the faces are shaded is so interesting, and I really want to implement, oh my god, implement that into my own style, but who knows. Sorry for how much you can see me messing with the layers to see the unrendered version. Honestly, I have no clue why I do this, probably so that I can see the difference, but either way, it ends up being like super finicky in the recording, but yeah. What I don't really understand is how the art style is like choppy but smooth at the same time. Mine is mainly choppy, but I think it still works. I actually love how he turned out in the Arcane style. I gotta do more of this, I think. I have tried and failed to make a Lucid Worlds Pokemon video for forever. The main reason being that I haven't had the most motivation, but when I prompted myself with this video, I knew I had to put Pokemon in it. I took inspirations from my past sketches or pieces from a Pokemon AU for his, like, Pokemon design. All that had old designs, like, before the one that it is now, if that makes sense. Oh my god. But either way, if you're curious, Cam's full team would be Garchomp, Scraggy, Toxicity, Jolteon, and Snorlax, and also Larvitar. Let me know if you want to see a fully dedicated video for this idea, because I would absolutely love to do it. Anywho, back to the actual art style. I've been looking at so much of the Pokemon art style recently for an upcoming video. Upcoming being like a month and a half, so the style doesn't seem foreign to me. The hardest part was trying to figure out how to shade the art. I ended up going with like a 2D art style from the past couple games. This was a nice way to end off the video. Well, that's the end, folks. I hope you enjoyed how this came out. I really loved doing this video. It was fun to get another perspective of how my character would transfer into different universes. Thank you for 1,500 subscribers. It's actually insane how far we've come. If you have any ideas for new videos, I would love to hear them. Which style did you like the best? I hope you had a wonderful day or night. Bye-bye!